Welcome to the Christian Woman Leadership Podcast, where we hope to inspire you to embrace your God-given gifts, skills, and passions in order to lead with confidence. We want you to remember that you are fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God, and you are fully loved by Him.
You have been designed on purpose by God with unique gifts and passions in order to love and lead those around you. I'm your host, Esther Littlefield, a pastor's wife, business owner, mom, and writer.
And I'm Esther's co-host, Holly Kane. I'm a wife, mom, and business owner. I also write at hollykane.org, where I focus on my passion for women's ministry.
Together, we chat about important issues that Christian women leaders face. In addition, we interview other women just like you who lead in various roles, from church to community to business. Through this podcast, we offer you encouragement, tools, and resources to help you on your leadership journey. We are so glad you're here with us. Hi, friend, and welcome to the Christian Woman Leadership Podcast. I am your host, Esther Littlefield, and I am here today with my co-host, Holly. Hey,
Hi.
Holly. How's it going?
Good.
Good. So today we are doing a little bit of a different episode, aren't we, Holly?
We are. I'm a little nervous about what is going to happen, but I think this is going to be epically fun.
Yes. So we're calling this Behind the Scenes with Esther and Holly. Maybe that'll be the title. Alternative titles are Esther and Holly Unplugged, Esther and Holly Unfiltered, or Esther and Holly Off the Rails.
All of the above, anyway.
Yeah.
Regardless of the name you pick.
Yes. And we haven't decided yet whether we're actually going to have our editor edit this episode.
Right.
So we may just leave in all the mistakes that we make, and you guys may get to experience the full conversation, dogs interrupting.
The real true life.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So why are we doing this? So basically, we come up with a lot of content, and I come up with a lot of content because I do it for this, but also my business podcast. And we have lots of ideas. We don't have a lack of ideas for things to talk about on this show. But I feel like we were both just kind of feeling like our brains are tired, right?
It's true. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Neither one of us, I think, had anything that really hit us.
Right.
And I think for a lot of times when we talk about what we're going to do, one of us is like, oh, we have to talk about that. And we just didn't have that this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're giving ourselves a break.
Exactly. Right. So basically, this is going to be more of a fun conversational episode, not really getting in depth about leadership. So if you're here for quality leadership content, I would encourage you to go back to a previous episode.
What episode number will this be? We will have had 150 something episodes prior to this that will give you leadership content. We won't
be quite at 150. We're at this will be I think if this goes out when we're planning 147. This will be 147.
Well, regardless, give or take.
Yeah. Close to 150. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, we've got lots of great content, but today we're going to do a little behind the scenes. So we actually asked in our Facebook group for ideas of what you guys want to hear us talk about. So we're going to pull a few of those.
Yeah.
And then we have a few other things that we're throwing in the mix too. So
yes.
Right. Do you want to kick us off? I'm
excited to see where this goes.
Yeah. We don't really know.
Okay.
It's going to be an adventure.
So Gina McCallan. Okay.
There we go.
Gina
McCallan.
There was an L in there, but that's not how you say her name. Gina McCallan.
She's been a guest on the show before.
She has. And she and I led a coffee chat during the Little Church Women's Ministry Summit online thinger. Sorry, Lori Acker. That I just butchered that. I really apologize. I know. Anyway, we like Gina. Gina's written a book. She's been on the podcast. Awesome. Anyway, she commented that she had multiple questions, but the one that we're going to talk about today is, how did we meet?
All right.
Yeah. So you tell your side of the story.
Okay.
And I'll tell mine.
Okay. We'll tell this story. And I just want to mention, Gina asked a whole bunch of other questions that are podcast related, podcast related. I think we're going to save some of those for probably our 3-year anniversary conversation. So that'll be coming up in the summer. Okay, so how did Holly and I meet? So I have been going to the same church since I married my husband, Scott, because he grew up in that church. And we've been there ever since we got married. And so I just remember Holly and Zach came to our church one Sunday. I don't remember the exact moment you arrived in my life. I'm sorry.
No,
it
that's
wasn't
okay.
like
I remember it. I'll
the
tell
doors
you.
of heaven opening or anything. But what I do remember, my first
there was
real
no like ray of sunshine down from the heavens with like, here's
going
your
to be
new
your
friend.
But what I remember is that we have our friends Steve and Jessica, and we were in a small group at their house, or small groups were starting, or something was happening around small groups. And Scott and I had been going to that small group for a long time. And so I remember that you guys joined us in the small group. And there was one night I remember being up in their their attic kind of place where we would meet for our small group. And we all had, I had Kirsten, you guys had Eli, and they were like little.
Yeah.
So they were
like 1.5 and 2.
Yes.
When they met.
Like toddlers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyway, but I remember you telling the story about the jet ski.
Oh no, which story is that? I have so many stories about a jet ski.
Something about Zach falling off a jet ski, or you not.
That was hysterical. Yes.
So that I think is my first real memory of you and Zach, and just how funny you were, and how you were very animated and bantering, very lively. And so that's how we met, was through church and small group.
So funny.
That's my side of the story.
Oh my word! I totally forgot about that jet ski story. That's a good one. Yes.
I always think of that every time we talk about water-related activities. I think about the jet skis.
Okay, well, I can't tell that story without my husband's permission.
Okay,
I'll tell at least the long and short of it. He fell off of it and was in the middle of the lake. So there's that. That's all you need to know. But there was more.
That's the punchline.
Okay. So my side of the story, which actually is not very different from yours, but let's see. We lived in northern Maine. Well, it's so strange. So we got married. We lived in more towards the coast of Maine. Then we moved back towards my home, and we lived there for a couple of years. And then not too long, a year or so after Eli was born, we moved to central Maine for my husband's job. And that would make us be able to live closer to his family.
Right.
So,
which is around where I live.
Right.
Central Maine is near where I live.
So we looked for a church for about 6 months. And I tell this story every time, and I'll make it quick, but we went to multiple churches, one after another, to try to find a church to go to. And we had the bulletins from all the different churches or whatever. And we tried out Open Door, which is now called Discover Church, not Open Door anymore. But at the time we went, it was Open Door. And we had been there a couple of weeks and we were liking it. And, the reason that we stayed was because our kid would actually stay in nursery. Other than that, it was just a no-go. So, we're sitting there and the pastor says, I just want to let everyone know that, we had a break-in this week and someone robbed the church basically. And we found out that these people had gone to these other churches, and he's naming off the other churches that had been robbed. And we had been to every one of those churches and filled out a new visitor form or whatever. And I remember it was either me or Zach opened our Bible, and one of the bulletins fell out on the floor, and we were like, quick, pick it up. We're going to be suspects.
We weren't the ones that robbed all these churches.
Anybody. Okay. Anyway, that's an offshoot, but
that's funny.
So as we were starting to get to know the church, we were invited to join small groups, and our pastor was like, you guys need to meet Steve and Jess. And so we did. And they said, we're actually having a lost party tonight rather than, that's the very first time, rather than actually having a small group. We're going to watch the season finale or series finale of Lost. And we were like,
have we met our match? Because we have been like watching Lost every single episode. And so anyway, we just went and we totally fit in, and it was awkward, but so fun. And we weren't quite sure because I don't know if you remember, but people were very like on one side or the other when it came to Lost. You either had this opinion or that opinion, and people would like not fight, but like disagree. And so we were very quiet with our opinions, I think, that night because we didn't want to make anybody mad. But
that's so funny. Holly quiet with her opinions.
I know, right? The long and short of it is that Steve and Jess just brought us into the fold and they were like, hang out with us and be part of our friend group. And it was from there ever since. We've been friends with pretty much everybody in our group. So
Well, yeah. So let's talk about like how like that was over 10 years ago, right?
So
because it would have been about 10 years ago because the kids are 12 and
a little over
now,
10 years ago.
So 10 or 11 years ago. So it's been a while. But some of the things, let's just talk about a couple of things that how did our friendship develop? Because I mean, we could have done that and not really become podcast friends.
Well, that's true. But I think that, so obviously you've heard us talk about Bible studies, but I think that was pretty much the biggest sort of catalyst in us becoming much closer friends, was just that you started Bible study. I don't even think I came to the very first round. I said, almost said episode, the first round of them, first semester, whatever. But I did come after that. And then I was hooked. And those first few seasons or semesters was like therapy, whatever you want to call them. Rounds. Yes. It was like therapy. Therapy sessions.
We would this is how our small group would go. We would start did we start at 7 p.m. or 6:30 or
7 o'clock?
7 o'clock, which right now I feel like is so late. I don't know why I was starting at 7 o'clock at night. That sounds ridiculous, but we would start at 7 o'clock. It was Tuesday nights at the church. We would meet. And I mean, sometimes we would be there until 10 or 10:30. Like, and like Zach would be texting and asking where you were.
I would text you.
Yes. He would text me like, hey, has Holly left yet?
No, because I was like probably crying or having some emotional moment.
Yes.
And Esther would just be sitting there like, everyone here is fine. We're going to leave in a few minutes.
So those were definitely like a lot of bonding happened in those groups because it wasn't a huge group. It was usually like 5 to 8 of us, probably.
Yep.
And so we would share a lot. We would be pretty vulnerable with what was going on in our lives. And just a lot of us went through some pretty difficult seasons during those years.
We were all in really rough seasons at that time, which is interesting now that I look back and think like, it was the perfect thing that we all needed, I think, to kind of get through that. And I feel like bonding is really the right word. We really bonded over all of our issues.
Yeah. we all brought out our issues and shared, which is, I think, part of what we talk about a lot on this podcast is just the importance of vulnerability. And I feel like it's because we have experienced it and we have experienced the value of that in relationships, that if you don't open up and you don't ever go deep with somebody, you can't really develop that stronger friendship or stronger relationship. So,
but I think another thing too, is we did a lot of leading together. We've done a lot of, whether they're events or, initiatives, whatever you want to call them, campaigns. Like we've done a lot of leading together in church for various things.
We went to Guatemala together.
Yep. Mission trip.
Which was it you and Zach and me? Is that how we did the leading that trip? Yeah. So
I think it came out of a small group session where we realized that we had all had gone to Guatemala before. And then we were like, let's do a trip. And everyone's eyes got really big, and we pretty much almost got on the plane at that very minute.
Yes. And that trip was really fun because we discovered that Esther can speak a little bit of Spanish, but when she's trying to speak Spanish, she can't speak English. And Holly made fun of me the whole time. Like, Esther cannot speak English. And apparently, I think it was like we discovered that it was mostly when I was around you.
Yeah.
That happened. Yeah.
Which is why we started a podcast, because we can't speak around each other. We just don't sound eloquent or whatever. Yeah. Oh, man.
But you're right. A lot of the things that have grown our relationship have been things that we have done together, like the missions trip, or leading, the fundraising for the missions trip, or different activities at church. I don't know. You've always done food related things, that
Operation Christmas Child, and I couldn't even count how many food auctions or dessert auctions.
Our church really likes food, so like we would do up the food auctions pretty good. Yeah. So those are some of the things, and then just like normal life stuff too. And then it also really helped. I think and this is something I've thought about a lot. Like, and for those of you who don't have kids, I apologize, but this is just like something that I've thought about as a parent, that when you have a friend and they have kids and the kids get along, it works out really well. If the kids don't get along, it's harder, I think, to maintain the friendship, because, your kids don't like hanging out.
100%.
So it's really worked out nicely for our friendship that our kids are like two peas in a pod, and they love spending time together.
Love hanging out with each other. And they just get each other, which we've said before, but it's good that they have that person in their life that is their friend that they've known since they can remember back as far,
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's the story.
Okay. That's the story, Gina. Hopefully that answers your question. Maybe a little more than you wanted, but
I hope it was as exciting as you thought it was going to be. Maybe she thought it was this really cool, like serendipitous movie moment, and it just wasn't.
It's just somebody moved and came to our church. Well, what? Yeah. Oh, wait. Did you share why you stayed at our church? I mean, you said Eli stayed in the nursery, but
that was the reason, really. And we were pretty much just like, as long as these people are not like Satan worshipers, we will get at least an hour of babysitting a week. No, I think in the end, so I actually interviewed one of the pastors.
I was going to say, I think you met with somebody to discuss our theological beliefs, right?
I did. Yeah. I had this big long list, and I was like, so what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? And poor Zach, he just came along supportive and was like, trying to show a united front, but like, I don't know. I'm not that he doesn't care about that stuff, but it's just, I'm the type of person that will go and ask the big long list. And he is more of just like a discover as you go along type of person. And I'm just like, look, if I'm going to commit, like I need to know now what's happening. And then you'll get 110% from me. But like, it was like a job application interview.
Oh, I love that.
So,
I love that. And this is like a side note, but I'm gonna sprinkle this in here. But we've talked about the whole issue of like church hopping and church shopping, and like finding a perfect church versus all that. So at some point we'll probably talk about that as a topic.
Because we've experienced that big time. Yeah.
So it'll be a good conversation, but not for today. Okay. No. So next, let's go to our next question with Carol Austin asked, what does a typical week look like for each of you? So let's take them behind the scenes of our week.
I feel like there's nothing typical, but then at the same time, I also feel like this is a time or a season in life where everything is super typical. I know that sounds really weird to say, but like super boring, but I don't know. It's just pandemic, I guess, is really making me feel that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay, well let's just talk about, you share like what you're like, quote unquote typical.
Okay. So I'm going to start with Monday just because I know it's not the technical beginning of the week, but it feels like it, right? So, so Monday through Wednesday is just really, work. I'm doing client work. I'm having client meetings. I am, working on my business. If you listen to the podcast for any length of time, I am not a morning person. So it's not like I get up at 5 and have, 3 hours of personal development. And then I wish I could say that, but I'm just not there. So, I get up whenever I need to get up for that day.
Yep. We don't have to disclose specific times.
No, I try not to schedule, regardless of what time I actually get up. I try not to schedule anything before 9 or 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
I own my own business, so I can do that.
Yourself. I know myself. When you're going to be actually able to talk.
And so generally I work from like 9 to 3 or 4-ish, depending on whether I have to go pick up my son. And then obviously dinner, nighttime activities, and then bed. And then on Thursday, we try to do podcast recording every other week or with some sort of schedule. So I'm usually doing that. If I'm not, then I'm just probably going to do some more work, some more client work and that sort of thing. And then I try to take Fridays off if I can. That doesn't always work out, but I hope for a 4-day work week. Right. On Thursday nights, I'm teaching a Bible study, and I am, what do you call it? Licensed. I'm a franchisee.
I don't know if we have an official
certified
term.
I am teaching Esther's Bible study, The Confident Leader Catalyst, to my small group, which is exciting.
Yep.
And then Saturdays is whatever. Oftentimes we sleep in. Sometimes we go to the beach. Sometimes we go to Costco because that's one of our favorite things to do. Go grocery shopping. And then Sunday is church, and Zach and Eli leave at like 6 a.m. because we have a church that just launched in January, and we're a portable church. We meet at a high school. So literally everything has to be set up early in the morning. And per my previous point, I'm not a morning person. So I wait.
So you're not part of that early morning team?
I'm not. Zach works in production, so he doesn't do this, but he helps with like lighting and sound and audio visual, and he's the lyric guy right now.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So the lyrics get messed up. That's him. And then I work in our Next Steps program, which is just basically if people come through the church and they're new and they want to get plugged in, I teach Next Steps. And Eli works at the cafe handing out hot boiling coffee to people. And we just pray every Sunday that he doesn't spill it. So mom and I go in a little bit later, and mom actually works on admin. So she actually doesn't have any specific responsibilities on Sunday. They actually meet during the week and do all of the admin work for the services
That's amazing.
During the week. Yeah.
Well, for those who don't know, your mom lives with you, right?
Yeah. So mom moved in with us in October.
Yeah.
And if you've been listening to the podcast for any length of time, my dad passed away. Oh my gosh, 2019. Really?
Yeah. Was it?
Wow.
December?
Yeah. September.
Why did I think? Sorry.
No, that's okay.
September.
So mom was basically by herself for about a year and just was lonely. And we live here in Florida. She was in Maine, and my sister was in Nova Scotia, Canada. And so, she was just like, I just don't want to be alone anymore. She had great friends, great support system. She'd been there most of her life, but still. So she came and moved in with us in October.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we are training our dog right now. We hired a dog trainer. So also doing that.
Typical week. Trying to get your dog to be trained.
I'm learning what it means when a dog is like sassy. I didn't know.
Okay.
So he like sneezes and huffs and puffs, and that is like sassy.
Oh.
He wants something, he will like, I know that's, you probably don't want to hear that noise, but like
trying to get your attention.
I didn't realize. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's so stupid that I didn't know that, but I just was like, why are you making that noise, dog? And the lady was like, oh, he's sassy.
That is so funny. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
All right.
Okay.
So is dog training a part of your week?
It's not. No.
It's not?
No, not at this point. Okay. I mean, just taking care of her, but we're not doing any formal training right now.
Oh, okay. So, all right. Yeah. So what does your week look like?
Okay. So I will try not to go super in depth because
I'm sorry. I probably did too much.
Well, no, I think you were fine. So, I mean, basically right now my schedule is Monday through Friday in terms of my work, but each day is different. So Mondays I try to not have any client calls or any calls at all. I try to keep it focused on like thinking and content creation and strategy. So like, and that could be for my own business, coming up with content ideas for the podcast or content ideas for, courses or creating the course material that I'm working on, things like that. Tuesdays are usually full from first thing to 2:00-ish is when I have to get done to go get my daughter from school. And so that day is usually client calls most of the day. And then Wednesdays, I also do some calls. I have my group coaching program in the afternoon on Wednesdays, which I love. And then Thursdays, like you said, a couple times a month, we focus on podcast recording. We're trying to get better at having like a couple days that we're doing podcasting.
Yeah.
As in a chunk instead of every single Thursday, so that we can use those other Thursdays for other things. And then Fridays, again, is another day where I try not to have calls. I try to focus on, head down working, whether it's client work or writing or things like that. So evenings is a mixed bag, but usually either picking up my daughter and then doing the afternoon routine of cooking, cleaning up, that kind of stuff. Not my favorite. Or running errands. Like the days I go to pick her up, I'll run errands in town. Some days my husband picks her up from school. And so I have a little bit of a longer work day that I can fit in. So that's good. And and then evenings, we don't have a lot going on right now in the evenings because of pandemic life. There haven't been a lot of extra activities, which has been kind of nice. But I also, we're excited. We're actually starting a new small group season right now in our church. And so we are going to have a group meeting. We're going to do it on Sundays after church. So that's going to be nice. So and the weekends, Saturdays, it mixes between staying at home and just whatever, doing stuff around the house. That's what my husband loves to do. He goes to church every day and works and teaches at the school. And so he's out most days.
Right.
I'm home most days.
Yeah.
So Saturdays, I'm like, I want to get out of here. I want to go somewhere else and do something else. And he wants to stay home.
Right.
And just, he's a project guy. So he likes to do random projects around the house and things like that. And I'm an adventurer and I like to go, let's go to the coast or let's go, hiking somewhere or something. So that's always a challenge. As a tension point. So it alternates. It varies on Saturdays. And then Sundays, is pretty much church. And then in the evening is youth group. So Kirsten goes to youth group. And so, it's like, it doesn't feel that exciting. Youth group? She is. They can go to youth group starting in 6th grade.
Oh, does she like it?
She does.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my week. Oh, and mornings, I'm not super morning person, but I do typically get up around 6-ish. Although I've definitely been dragging. Like I've been the winter always throws me off. I can get up earlier in the summer and springtime a lot easier because the sun is up. But winter always slows me down because it's like, it's so dark. And so in the morning, it's really hard to get up. And in my mind, I am the type of person who gets up at 5 a.m. and goes in my office and writes for a couple hours and then does other things. But in reality, that's not who I am right now.
Wait, can you sit down and write at 5 a.m.?
So I did an experiment a couple summers ago where I was getting up super early and I was getting it, like I would get my coffee and I would jump right in and get to work really fast. And like, then I was getting done work super early in the day so I could just go. And I was doing a big chunk of work when nobody else was awake. And so that was awesome. But I'm not in that mode now. But I guess my
astonishment.
Yeah, I can write.
I couldn't get a coherent sentence out at that time of the morning.
I can't talk, but I can write. And I can do, And so actually, and that's, this is, if we're just being behind the scenes for real. Like I do try to get up, and my morning routine right now is I get up around the same time as my daughter and everybody's up and getting ready for school and stuff. But I tend to take care of the dog, take care of the cats, get my coffee. And I try to start with reading my Bible and doing like my quiet time.
Yeah.
But it's really not working the way I'm doing it right now because everybody else is around. And so they drive me crazy. And I'm like,
yes,
my husband's playing his 80s music while he's taking a shower. And my daughter is just talking about random things.
80s music in the shower. I didn't know.
So you know how you can have,
music.
You have the, like the Alexa dot. I don't want to say it because she's going to turn on. But you know, like we have one of those in our bathroom, and he has it programmed to say when he says shower time, she starts to read him like the weather report and some little update, and then it goes to some music channel that he likes, which is pretty much like 80s music, 80s, 90s.
Oh my word!
Music that I'm not a huge fan of, and so it drives me a little bit crazy, but. It's just
Scott and I need to have a talk.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we might have some similar music. Anyway.
Some of it I like when it gets into like 90s, like the 90s, like rock, like the stuff that reminds me of high school, I can tolerate that. But I really am not into 80s music, like 80s, any kind of like.
Are we talking like Hootie and the Blowfish, Matchbox 20, like that's popular 90s. Stuff? That's what I'm talking about. 90s.
That's not 80s. Yeah. It's mixed in. I don't know what channel it is. Like I don't really know what is
this
happening.
This is not an interrogation of the exact music that he listens to. That's another time.
Oh yeah. Let's not get him fired from his job as a pastor.
No. I guess I was just wondering if it's like, just generic.
Well,
80s,
like there'll be
music.
like Michael Jackson in there and like the classic like 80s pop hits type of stuff.
Right. Like you would hear on the regular radio.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's just some of it is not like when it gets into any kind of screamo kind of stuff, I'm like, no thanks. Like, let's not do like the man bands that had like the long hair and like the
kind of
this 80s.
Is where we differ a little bit.
I can't do with that. So anyway, so that was a very non-linear conversation about my week, but
that took a side turn onto Scott's shower music, which is really strange. Anyway, probably we should just move on.
Yeah. Let's move on from that. So this is a question that we might want to answer. Okay. Sometimes we talk about our businesses and we talk about our clients and we talk about like what we do, but But I'm thinking people might be wondering, but what do you actually do?
Yeah, that might
Holly, what is it what's this mysterious thing? And then I have like so many of my local friends and family, and I'll be posting stuff on Facebook or whatever about my business, but I don't think a lot of people really understand what it is that we do, right?
I think you're probably right.
Why don't we take a moment to sort of try to explain this?
Okay, so we both have virtual businesses, which just means we work on the internet.
Exactly.
And that sounds scammy or sketchy, but it's really not.
Right. Yeah.
But so I do virtual CFO work. So a CFO is a chief financial officer, and I also do DOO work, which is director of operations. So basically anything in the back end of your business. So when I talk about back end, I'm talking about operations, like the processes that you use to do things, and or finances is what I help businesses with. So budgeting, forecasting, cash flow management. I do the actual bookkeeping too. So I'm talking about like bank statements, reconciliations, your chart of accounts, all of that stuff.
Fun and exciting
all that
conversation.
Fun stuff. And then on the operations side, it's things like standard operating procedures, HR, team management, all
hiring,
right? Customer experience, all of that type of stuff.
Right.
So I generally work with businesses who are in the $100,000 range of revenue who want to move into the 7-figure range. They want to actually move into that sort of higher revenue
they're somewhere
level.
They're making 6 figures of some kind.
Yes.
Like not.
Yeah. And oftentimes when you're in that, you get your first kind of big push, and then you make it to your 6-figure mark or whatever. And then you get things really up and going, and you've got, a sustainable business. Yeah. But as we were talking about just yesterday, like what gets you to that point is not what gets you to 7 figures. And so I really help with having a business that will be scalable, because, you're not in the bootstrapping part of it anymore. You don't have your friends, helping you get stuff done, like to just get stuff out the door or whatever. That's not where we're at. We have staff, we have people who are working in the business. We have, expanding product lines, expanding products. I'm calling them products, but they're services, generally courses, memberships, that type of thing. So does that explain it?
Yeah.
Do you think?
Well, I get it, because I know, but I think for somebody who maybe didn't understand before, it definitely gives a better picture. So here's how I would describe what you do.
Oh, okay.
Holly will come into your business and clean up the mess you've made and help you to actually keep more money that you're bringing into your business, stop wasting money, and be able to actually move forward more quickly into your goals. So that's how I say it.
So pretty much people come to me when they say, I don't know how to make data-driven decisions. I don't know how to figure out this mess of what I've created. Yeah. I've created a monster. What do I do with it now?
Yeah.
And, they want to make really good intentional decisions with their business, but they're at the point where things might be breaking, things might be busting. The data is all over the place. So I'm a chaos tamer.
Yes.
For businesses.
Yes. So. I love it. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What do you do?
Okay. I feel like mine is harder to answer, but, and I've shared a little bit more in depth. I've done a few episodes specific about like my own journey and that kind of stuff. So I don't want to go super in depth about that. But what I do right now is I help Christian women lead with confidence, shine online, and amplify their message.
Yeah.
And so the primary part of my business now is in doing coaching and training and supporting Christian women in their business so that they can get clarity and focus and have a marketing strategy that works. So while Holly focuses on the back end of your business, I focus more on the marketing side. That's really where I thrive a lot more, in how you communicate your message, in how you actually get clients and customers to come in and pay you, and how you actually know where you want to go with your business, like figuring out what should you be working on? Should you be running Facebook ads? Should you be, creating an opt-in, growing an email list? Should you just be focusing on one-on-one client work? Like, what kind of business model do you actually want to have? So that's a lot of what I do. So right now, the main ways that I'm doing that is through my course, Shine Online, which was open a few weeks ago. And I have some students going through that right now, and they are amazing, doing awesome work. And then I also have a coaching program that I'm running, which is sort of secretive right now. I haven't really opened it up publicly or talked about it, but Holly's in there, and there's some other amazing women who have just incredible businesses that we get to work together every week, and I'm able to support them and give them, guidance and support. And then they're all supporting one another in their goals too. So I just love that. And then I have some one-on-one clients that I still work with, where I still do some of my service-based business. That is kind of where I started it, way back in beginning of 2017. So we still do podcast management for 2 clients. And I work in one of my clients' business as her director of marketing. And so it's a little bit of a variety of things, but I've never been somebody to just only I don't like doing the same thing every day. So I like having some variety in what I'm doing, but I'm definitely on the track this year of streamlining what I'm doing and bringing it all together and doing some clarifying of my own business, of really where I want to go and how I want to support people. And then the leading with confidence side of things is this podcast. This is still part of my overall business, but it's really more of kind of the passion project side of the business, where it's really more about encouraging you as a Christian leader and as if you have a business. But either way, if you're leading in ministry or business, this podcast is a resource that we want to provide for you to help you do that. So that's still part of it, but it's not where I'm putting focus this year on like having products and services directly related to this content. Yeah. If that makes sense. I don't know if any of that made sense.
It did. It did. I was actually just trying to think, like, you have so many zones of genius. Like, marketing is definitely a zone of genius. Podcasting is definitely a zone of genius. And like, I just hear when I've had people come and talk to me about different things, and I'm like, you need to talk to Esther. She knows exactly how to like fix that. Go talk to her. Or like, and you know, even from just, I had someone come to me who was like, I don't know what to do with this course. I have all this stuff. And I'm like, Esther knows what to do. Just go to her and she'll tell you what to do. And so I know that, like, I mean, you're definitely multi-passionate, but you are accomplished and have like lots of knowledge in those areas. It's not just like a surface knowledge. Like, yeah. So,
well, anyway. And I think what you just said is it's basically because I've done a lot of it myself. I've like actually tried all the things in the online marketing world, like not all the things, but I've done a lot of things. I've tested a lot of things. And because I was in and really focused on a service-based business, you know, working behind the scenes in a lot of other businesses on the marketing side, on the podcasting side, on even some of the operations pieces, you know, I have had my hands in a lot of things. And so that's where now I'm moving more into more, you know, coaching and consulting. I feel like I'm able to sort of bring that all together because I can see more of a big picture of what's going on in someone's business than maybe they can see. Because they just feel what they're feeling in the moment of, you know, what's happening? What do I do? How do I launch a course? How do I get more clients? Whatever. And I can sort of bring in a bigger picture of guiding them into what might work for them. So, yeah. But I also, this is just something I've been thinking about. And again, not to go too in depth, but I've also been thinking about this whole concept of how many women who listen to this show, and you and I and others in our Facebook group, are multi-passionate, but also multi-talented. And so there's a lot of things we can do, but those things that we can do are not always the things that really are our zones of genius. And so I think the more things I have done, the closer I've gotten to feeling like I'm working in my zone of genius. And so like, I can figure out tech, I know tech, but it's not my zone of genius. It doesn't light me up to work on tech on someone's business all day long, you know? Yeah. So it's like, that was what I was doing in a lot of people's businesses for a long time, was like fixing the tech things and connecting different integrations and those kind of things. But that doesn't like get me excited, you know?
Yeah. And that's so not my zone of genius. Yeah. I'm just, I always come to Esther, I'm like, what do I do? And I'm not totally inept, but.
And I can still help people. But like, even now in my own business, I'm like, okay, I'm at the point now where I have courses and I have things that I'm selling, you know, on funnels and Facebook ads. And there's certain parts of that, while I could figure it out and I could do it myself, I'm kind of at the point where now I know that's not the best use of my time to keep doing that. It's better for me to hire someone to manage that stuff so that I can thrive in my zone of genius, which is really more in ideas and strategy and supporting my clients, you know? So,
right.
Yeah. Okay. That was a long answer to that question. But you can learn more at estherlittlefield.com. Although right now that website is kind of a hot mess, and that's going to be changing soon to bring everything under one umbrella, where you can actually go to my website and figure out what it is that I actually do. Because right now it's not very accurate. So,
well, I'm glad that you had the opportunity to explain that in between now and then.
Yes.
So that people know. Yeah. So, all right. So you wrote this next question and you have to answer it first because I have no idea what I'm going to answer for this question. So what is one fun and exciting thing happening in your life right now?
Okay. So I don't even know if I've told you this.
Oh, are you serious?
I have, well, this is sort of like it's more than one thing, but it's kind of like a bunch of things all related to one thing, which is it's all related to my business. And it's basically this idea that like, there's lots of exciting things.
That is so vague and amazing.
Okay.
I feel so informed.
I've made it so clear for you. So one thing is that I'm going to be sharing an office in downtown Bangor with somebody.
You have not told me this.
Sorry.
That's so exciting. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to be having an office that I can go to out of my house a couple days a week. So
I need all the details.
It's not very fancy. It's actually like an artist office. So it's like
that's cool.
Anyway, but it's got windows and I can see right downtown and I can go have coffee whenever I want or like go have lunch with somebody and not have to drive 25 minutes. So that's
is it really truly downtown?
It's like literally on it's on the corner of Main Street and Central Street.
Oh,
second floor.
So close to Bagel Central.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Please go have a bagel for me.
So that's exciting. And that partly comes out of this idea of like feeling like I was saying before, I don't love being at home all the time. Like I like the variety of getting out, and this whole past year of being stuck at home and like not really having the flexibility to go meet up with people for lunch or go to coffee or just whatever. Because I used to do that. I used to go and meet with somebody, or work together with somebody in town at at the library or at the coffee shop or something. And I just, because of COVID, like we haven't been doing that.
I miss that so much.
Yeah. And so this was partly that decision was like, I need to be out of my house a little bit more than I am. And the price was right. And the situation, it seems like it's going to be a good fit for what I need. Because I don't need like an office where I have clients coming in or anything like that because it's all virtual. Right. So it doesn't really matter what it looks like. It's more about just a place to sit my butt and work on my computer.
I love that.
So, yeah. And then the other pieces of that exciting is that like I mentioned, I got some new things happening with my website. So I just got my branding done.
Yes,
and I got some exciting. New photos taken. And so pretty soon there's going to be like a whole new look going on with what I'm putting out. And it's going to also bring like the Christian Woman Business podcast and this podcast and everything. It's going to bring it all cohesively together. So that's kind of like what I'm excited about. So.
You've been working on that for a while, bringing everything all together.
Yeah. I mean, like the past year.
That's so exciting. I know, but it's exciting to have it all on one website, one look, one sort of name, if you will. Like, I mean, it's your name, but still,
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I want to write a book, like I needed to keep it under my name, so that because that's what it's going to be. People are going to know, whatever. There's stuff about that.
People are going to know you. That's so cool. People are going to know you.
We'll see. But either way, I'm excited to show it to you all when it's ready. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to kind of.
I want to see your office. I'm excited about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll show that too. Okay, so what about you? Fun and exciting thing happening?
Well, nothing
for you, if you
like
have one.
You. Well, so I do just want to say, like, I have looked into the office thing before and it just hasn't been the right fit, but maybe someday. I did do a co-working space here in this. Oh, it was so cool. Like I can't even explain it to you. It's just so hip and cool. I'm not that hip and cool, but it was just too far away. And so there was a place I looked at across the road and that didn't work out. So fun and exciting. I really am stumped. I honestly really am stumped. I want to say that you guys are going to laugh at me. I want to say that the dog training is exciting because
like it's exciting to get your dog,
fixed.
In shape.
Because I mean, he has some very frustrating habits and things that sort of limit us. Yeah. And so having him in a better place, and obviously this is not like miracle fix all, but I really think that he can get better. And, he does not like other dogs. And so we like to go and have adventures on the weekend, and we go to like farmers markets and whatever. And people are walking around with their animals, and we are just like, we would love to be able to bring him to those places, but he would just flip. And there are some people that he just really doesn't like. So I know that's boring, but I think that's probably it right now, because I think that it gives me a glimpse of hope of the fact that, you know, when we actually say something, he'll listen to it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's important.
So
that's really good. Yeah. Yeah. No,
but it was, well, I just want to say the trainer was here and she said, you know, like, I help, how did she say it? Basically, like, I help dogs who won't listen and are scattered and whatever. And I said, do you help 13-year-old boys too? Because they seem to both have these problems. She doesn't, by the way. But,
she doesn't focus on kids. Just dogs. Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
I don't blame her, but
that's so funny.
Yeah. And we just went on vacation. So that was exciting for us. But now I'm thinking like, okay, when's the next vacation?
Yeah.
And I need you to know that we are under 1 year from my big 4-0 birthday.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And so if we want to plan something that's fun and exciting, it should start now.
Okay.
So that we can save our pennies.
Yeah. So you guys in the Facebook group, we're going to need to ask a question like, what should we do for Holly's 40th birthday? Give us all the ideas.
Other than cry.
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So I think we've gone longer than we've planned.
Gone way longer.
Never happens.
Oh,
never happens with us.
The eye rolling just happened.
Let's wrap it up with the trends, the question that Jennifer had. How about
you don't think we can do a few fun questions?
Oh, should we? Well,
just a few.
Okay.
We'll try to be quick.
Look, Holly's over here peer pressuring me.
I am peer pressuring you.
Okay.
Just a few.
Well, what are we going to do first? Are we going to do the trends or are we going to do the fun questions?
No, do the fun questions. And then we'll do the trends.
All right. So here's the deal.
Okay.
You can't see it.
No, I can't.
No, but I'm talking to our listeners.
Oh,
they can't.
I can see that.
So our editor, Brian, he's wonderful. And he gave me this gift, which is called Pod Decks. And it's got a bunch of questions, random questions that you can ask your guests. Well, I'm just going to pull a couple cards randomly. I'm going to like split the deck and just pick a card. And then Holly has to answer the questions.
Why just me? You have to answer them too.
Okay, ready?
Okay.
Oh, this is a good one.
Oh no, I'm scared.
Oh, this is so good. What's something that people think makes them look cool, but actually makes them look ridiculous?
Oh, something that people think make them look cool. Oh, so I can't think of anything right off the top of my head.
Okay,
Do you have one?
I'm going to share something. It's not, I feel like this is more about something that people do that they think makes them look cool. And this is the first thing that popped into my head. So I'm just going to say it is the guys who spin out, you know, when they turn and they squeal their tires and go super fast, or they just go barreling down like a 25-mile-an-hour street, like at 40 or 50, like that. I feel like they think that they're being cool, but they're just really being dumb. That's what I think.
Agreed.
Okay. That's my answer.
Well, so I mentioned this I wouldn't say last time, in our interview with Christy Wright.
Yes.
The oversized sweat outfits just drive me crazy. And probably it's because I can't pull it off and I'm jealous because it looks super duper comfortable. But I can't get on board with it. I just don't like how it looks. I don't think
so
it's cool.
Uncool because I don't even know what this is. Like,
are you serious?
Like people are wearing like sweatpants and sweatshirts that are way too big for them.
Yes.
Is that what's happening?
Yes.
Okay. See, I'm not
very
in the
oversized
trends world. Okay.
Yeah, I guess you're not. Okay. And
I live in Maine. Everything comes 10 years late to us.
If they are tie-dyed, and it's not like super bright tie-dye. We're talking about very muted pastel tie-dye.
Okay.
that's even more of a trend.
Okay.
And, but so the sneaker trend is really important here.
Okay. Now we're going to get to the real stuff here. Holly's sneaker obsession.
Okay. So some of the sneakers that are in style right now are very ugly, in my opinion. But I think I might be starting to have a small sneaker obsession.
She confessed this to me on Voxer recently, and I had to pray over her.
So there is a specific sneaker that I really want. And I went to a bunch of Foot Lockers, and I also went to they're Adidas anyway. Okay. I went to Adidas stores. I went to Foot Lockers. I went to
afraid to say the name of the sneaker?
I don't know why. I don't know why. That's so weird. Anyway, I went to all these places and I'm looking for this specific shoe and I can't find it, right? So if they have it in the store, they don't have it in my size. And I could probably get away with up and down because the shoe runs a little bit big, regardless, whatever. So I went to this one store and I found the shoe and they were like, well, we don't have that one, but we can order it. I can see it in another store. And so they ordered it and it was on sale. So it was this big, moment. But I wasn't getting it right then, which was okay. But I was getting them right. Then I get an email that Foot Locker says they can't find them. And I have to go back to the store to get a refund. And I'm like, no, just find my shoes and send them to me. So then I had to go look for another pair of shoes anyway. The sneakers, I'm obsessive over these sneakers and I feel like I might have a problem because when I went into the Foot Locker, I was like, I'll buy those and I'll buy those and I'll buy those. I don't know what the problem is.
We might have to have an intervention. So the real question is, are these sneakers going to make you look ridiculous or are they going to make you look cool?
I'm going to say that they're going to make me look cool because they have been a staple for quite a long time.
Okay.
This is not a new trend necessarily.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, I can tell you what they are.
Sure. Tell us.
They are the Adidas Superstar Stan Smith crossover shoes.
Okay.
So do you know the Adidas shoes that have the 3 stripes on the side and they have that hard plastic kind of front?
Okay.
Those are the Superstars.
Okay.
The Stan Smith are mostly white. A lot of them have a green thing on the back and they just have air holes on the side.
Okay.
And this is a crossover where on the inside of the shoe are the stripes and on the outside it looks like the Stan Smith. They're black. On the back, the stripes are black and they're a white shoe. And then there's this gold, grommet thing with the hole. And then there's this gold thing on the end of the shoelace. Oh my goodness. And there's gold on the tongue. It's just so cool. I love them. Okay, sorry, I had a moment.
So we are going to have some kind of poll to evaluate Holly's level of
sneakerhead.
How far she's gone off the rails on the sneaker obsession. But
okay, I can't find them. So I'm going back to.
If you're listening to this podcast and you can find them in an
8.5
of 8.5, what she said earlier.
Smith Superstar crossovers, white with black. Gold grommet, gold finger on the end, gold on the tongue. Those are for me. Find them. I'll buy them. I'll pay the shipping. Pass them to me. Okay. But I had to compromise because I can't find them. So I'm just going with the Superstars that are white with black and they have cheetah print on the heel.
Okay.
They have the gold grommet. So it's okay.
Wow.
That was a lot. Sorry,
that was a lot of information. That was awesome. Okay, are we going to do...
We have to move on.
Okay, let's do...
That was one question. Okay.
Do we want to do one more fun question? Or
yes. Okay. No, do it. You're right.
I don't know about this one. This one is going to be hard. But what is the weirdest tradition your family has?
Oh, that's easy.
Okay, good.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's super weird, but my son loves pickles. And so ever since he was a little kid, he's gotten pickles for Christmas. I know that this is not specific to me, but we hide the pickle in the tree. Have you heard of this? Okay. So, basically you have someone who's not in your immediate family who won't be there on Christmas morning, hide a pickle ornament in your tree. And then on Christmas morning, you have to search the tree for the pickle, and whoever finds the pickle gets to open the first present.
Oh my goodness. That's so funny.
The reason that we do the pickles, so Eli loves pickles. So when he was 2, that was the first year we did this. We gave him pickles for Christmas and he was opening it. We have this video of him and he's so little and so cute. And we're like, before he opened that, what do you think that it is? And he starts to like open the bottom just a little bit. And he goes, I think it's a candle, Daddy. Did you give me a candle? And we're like, I don't know, open it and see. And then he was like so excited that it was pickles. But for whatever reason, the fact that he thought that we got him a candle for Christmas is just hysterical to me. So anyway, we still get him pickles and we have added on a baguette. He loves baguettes. So he gets a pickle and a baguette every year for Christmas.
That's so funny. Oh my word. That's definitely weird. I got to say that.
Really weird.
Pretty weird. Yeah. Okay.
But it's not an expensive, tradition.
No, it's not.
No. So that's good. What about you? Do you have any weird
I'm having
things?
a hard time coming up with a weird tradition. Do you know of anything weird that my family does?
Not in the traditions topic.
We definitely do weird things, but I'm trying to think, like, we don't have a lot of traditions that we do.
Yeah.
And I feel like the traditions that I try to implement are like traditional traditions.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
Anything like quirky that just happened one time and now you guys do it every time? Whatever that is.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I think maybe too, like, I started talking about a holiday in specifics, but like there are other things like, that's okay. You don't have to have one.
I'm out of ideas. I'll probably think of it after we stop recording.
You can put it in the Facebook page or Facebook group.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to talk about trends, right?
Okay. Then we're going to wrap it up.
Oh, okay. We have to.
If you're still with us.
Oh my goodness.
You are a diehard right now if you're with us right now.
Okay. So Jen from the Facebook group, who I actually went to high school with, said that we should do a poll on trends that we'd like to come back and ones that should stay in the past.
Right.
And I think it's because we talked about side parts and skinny jeans with Christy. And that was a pretty epic conversation. So I have pulled up from the interwebs a really important article called 16 Trends You'll Remember If You Grew Up in the 90s. And I'm just going to say some of them.
Okay.
And we are just going to say whether or not we think it's okay that they came back, should come back or not come back.
Okay. So this is like rapid fire.
I mean, you can expound a little.
Okay.
But okay.
Got it.
So number 1 is vests. You don't need to remember vests.
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean like Jennifer Aniston Moore in Friends, like the jean vest.
I had the vests.
You did?
I had some vests. I know what you're talking about.
Okay. So do you think that should come back? Is that okay if it came back?
No.
Or is it, no, you're not?
Never.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
What about you?
So this one, sorry. I'm okay with them coming back.
Okay.
I don't mind it. I don't hate it. I wouldn't
I'm okay with like
it.
a vest, like a puffy vest that you wear outside in the cold.
Yeah.
That's okay. But these other vests, like the angled ones with like the one button in the middle kind of thing.
Yeah. No, you're not into that.
I'm not good with that.
Okay. So this next one is already back.
Okay.
But I'm going to ask anyway. Overalls.
Okay. Oh.
So, but you know that they're back, right?
I know they're back.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to wear them.
You're not a fan.
I did definitely wear them in the 90s.
Yes.
I totally did the one thing down.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the one.
You left one undone.
Yes. Oh, my word. So I probably wouldn't rock them now. I don't mind it if other people do. It's not like I'm like, ooh, you look bad, but I don't love them.
I guess I'm thinking about this mostly in terms of what I would wear. But
yeah, no, that's okay.
I'm more okay with the overalls than the vests.
Oh, yeah.
And other people.
Okay. The next one is butterfly clips.
Okay.
Do you remember butterfly clips? You would pull your hair back kind of like a headband.
Across.
And they would be all across the top. Yeah. Do you remember those?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a yes? Do you want them back or no?
I don't want butterfly clips back, but I do like putting my hair up in little clips.
Right.
When it's being obnoxious.
Okay. I personally need to say this is a no-go.
Okay.
I don't like the butterfly clips.
Okay.
I don't like, I could rock that look like nobody's business and I did it well, but I just,
no. Okay.
No, we can do better.
Okay. We can do better.
We can do better.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one, chokers.
Oh.
So do you remember chokers that the black thread, like cord thing?
Yeah.
Those are back.
Okay.
How do you feel about them?
I want to know your answer first.
Oh, okay.
I keep having to go first.
Okay. I'm sorry. So I'm not going to wear them. You're not going to catch me in a choker. I didn't like chokers. Remember those stretchy ones that were plastic or whatever?
Yeah.
I wore those a few times. No, you're never going to catch me in one. I don't mind it in other people. I don't love them.
Okay.
They could stay away and I'd be okay with that. Okay. What about you?
You know that some of the people listening to our podcast, some of our girls here that are like in their 20s, they're
wearing them.
Yeah, but they don't remember from the 90s.
Oh, well, they don't remember them. Yeah.
Okay, but I guess since they're back, they know about them now. But
yeah, they do.
So I was the choker girl. I wore the chokers like you wouldn't believe. And here's what's the funniest thing about this conversation is that I was going through my jewelry case the other day because I was trying to find a necklace. I went on my trip to Arizona. I came back. I could not find one of the necklaces that I took with me. And so I've been searching high and low, trying to find it. Anyway, so in my process, I'm pulling every single thing out to try and figure out, did I actually leave it here or whatever? I pull out this choker. It's not just a choker. It is one of those hemp chokers with like the little beads on them.
On them.
I was not a fancy, I mean, yes, I did do the fancy, but I was kind of like, I went through a punk phase in the late 90s where I wore the ball chokers that were like the sterling, not the sterling silver, but like the ball chain ones.
Yes.
And then I also would do like the hemp chokers. And I had that one hemp choker that I wore like all the time, like shower
your whole life.
You know, it just stayed on. And I actually like I was like putting it on. I was like, that kind of looks cute.
But are you going to rock it? Are you going to bring it back?
I'm going to.
No,
I don't think I'm going to bring it back. But I don't know. I'm like I'm 50-50 on this one. I'm not totally against it.
Okay. All right. So here's the next one. Flannels. Now in the 90s, flannels were a thing because of the whole like grunge punk rock movement. So like the low jeans, the flannels wrapped around your waist, the whole thing. So I'm going to be totally honest with our listeners here and say that for a vast majority of people who live in Maine, this never was a trend. This is a staple.
I was like, this never went out of style. It's always in style.
I think maybe it's the whole look that I'm talking about. You know, the whole like grunge, like t-shirt and then the flannel and you know what I'm trying to say?
I do.
And like the really like messy hair and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So how do you feel about flannels?
I mean, I've never been a big flannel girl. Like even though I live in Maine, I'm like I don't know, a couple winters ago, I was like, I should probably buy a flannel shirt. It seems like everybody has one. Like for their cute, like,
I should just have one
for the cute Christmas photos. You know, when you're out cutting your Christmas tree and everybody's looking cute in their flannel shirt. It's like, oh, I have like my big puffy winter coat on. But anyway, I'm probably going to lean towards no on like the whole grunge look.
Yeah,
I'm not into that anymore.
Yeah, no. So I can handle the flannels, like, because I just feel like it's part of a staple core wardrobe situation in Maine. And that's what I'm used to. But it's true. I don't see very many flannels in Florida. That's probably a thing.
Yeah.
I do have a few. And if I actively lived in Maine and where it was more wintry, I probably would wear them, but I don't wear them here. So I don't mind them, but
okay.
All right. How about two more? Okay. Really? Okay. Crop tops.
No.
Okay. This one makes me angry.
Oh
okay.
boy.
Well, okay. If we can do these last ones fast, maybe we can do them a little faster. So I'm a no-go on the whatever we just said. Crop top. Windbreakers, also a no-go for me. Do you remember those like bright?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, no,
not
thanks.
okay.
Let's
those
not
are
bring
back
those
though.
back. Oh,
okay.
No.
Platform sandals. Do you remember these? The big, thick black sandal that had like the one big, thick black. Here, I'm going to share my screen so you can see it. Because I know people, oh, no, I can't do it. But anyway, we wore them with everything.
Yes.
Those are a no-go for me. Okay. I hate them.
Okay.
With a vile passion.
Wow.
they really make me mad.
She hates these sandals as much as she loves the sneakers that we talked about earlier.
Yeah. Okay, so Steve Madden was the designer of these. Okay. They were popular. Big. Yeah. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't like them. And when I see them for sale still, I'm just like, can we move on, please?
Can we chuck them out the window?
They just, the top was super stretchy. And when you walk, you have this big like clump. Like every time you walk, like it was so loud.
Oh, my word.
No.
That's so funny. Okay.
No. Okay.
So I'm going to go for no on that too.
Okay.
I don't think I'm into that.
How do you feel about denim on denim? Denim top, denim bottom.
I have like a confused look on my face because
you don't know?
I'm going to say no on that too. I feel like that's a lot of denim, but I guess I don't know. I feel like you could pull it off if you were wearing the right pants, but.
So I'm going to go with you on this one.
Okay.
There's a wide variety here.
Yeah.
Of bad looks and good looks.
Okay.
So if you do it well, you can pull it off.
Okay.
Yeah. If you don't do it well, it's bad.
Okay.
So if you are going to go out, this is my personal opinion. You don't have to listen to me. If you're going to try this, you need to have multiple people's opinions about whether you think this is like, if you're going for fashion, if you don't care and you're just comfortable in what you wear, go out, all the more power to you. But if you are fashion conscious and you care about those things, this is not somewhere that you can just wing it. You need advice. Okay.
So here's what I'm going to say that I should have said at the beginning of this conversation is that Esther is not very good with fashion. And so that's why most of my answers are like, because I've never been very fashionable. And I'm like, I have to get advice from people because I definitely don't have the eye for figuring it out. So
you much better at really good. Okay. This is the last one. And I have a very strong opinion on this one.
All right.
Okay. Scrunchies.
No.
Okay.
I can say firmly with that because I did wear scrunchies a lot in the 90s. Oh,
I rocked a scrunchie like nobody's business. Like I feel like there were times that I would have one in my hair and one on each wrist.
I can totally see that because you have a lot of hair.
I do have a lot of hair. You never know when you're going to need an extra scrunchie.
Yeah, right.
And I mean, remember them like matching what we would wear. Yeah. And no, I can't go back. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I have found my hair ties and I'm sticking with them.
Okay.
And I can't, not for fashion, not for any reason, could I go back to a scrunchie. I'm sorry if you wear scrunchies. It's just not for me. I can't do it.
That's right. You're not dictating to other people what their choices should be.
Absolutely not.
We're just
I'm giving my personal opinion.
Our opinion. Now, here's the thing that I'm wondering about scrunchies is, I mean, what the benefit of a scrunchie is that it's not as damaging to your hair, it seems, as like an actual like elastic band.
Okay. Then you're buying the wrong elastic bands.
Well, I don't put my hair up because
if you as a listener is having damage from your elastic bands, you're buying the wrong ones. And I'll just message me and I'll give you the ones I use. I have a lot of thick and heavy hair.
Yeah.
And so that was part of the other thing with the scrunchie is that it would slip out.
Yeah.
And you'd have to redo it multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you could definitely rock the whole, like, I'm fixing my hair with the scrunchie thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the hair flip. If you really wanted to be like flirty in high school, you know what I'm talking about? You know, I'm doing it. No one can see what I'm doing.
Can see you.
I'm running my fingers through my hair and I'm flipping my hair at the same time.
Right.
And that's what we did.
Yeah.
In high school. And you know what? That's fine. But I'm not going to do it again.
No.
No.
Okay. All right.
I'm a set it and forget it kind of girl. Do it and try to be done for the rest of the day. Whereas in high school, I was like every class I had a different hairdo.
Oh my
Do you remember
word.
the chopsticks in your hair?
Good. Yeah.
I did that. So I would have pencils. I would do like a French twist and then the chopsticks in my hair, pull that down. And I would do it like half up with the chopsticks. Then I'd have like, the braids. I literally would be doing my hair just all day long.
Her hair obsessions, her sneaker obsessions. We gotta intervene.
Goodness. Okay. I can't believe, well, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say, I can't believe that we actually went this long, but I 100% believe it. So. What are you going to do with this recording?
We are not going to edit this. I don't think. We're just going to boom. I'm going to give it to Brian.
Oh.
Tell him, go ahead, add the intro and outro on, and we're good to go.
Okay. So, well, then I sincerely apologize. And as well, thank you for getting this far if you did.
But
you know way too much about us.
Yes. Well, and we hope that this was like semi-entertaining because, we obviously don't want this just to be like Esther and Holly have a conversation that nobody cares about. But we know our podcast has been around for almost 3 years. So some of our listeners have been with us the long haul and they're like behind the scenes.
They want to know a little bit.
And so if you want to be part of this conversation, if you want to share your input on the trends and the questions and what your week looks like or any of those things, go ahead on over into our Facebook group because that's where we hang out with you and get to know you. And we love, being able to have fun conversations in there with you.
Yeah. And I need to say that if we've offended you by any of our fashion opinions, you're still welcome. And we still love you. And we don't think nasty thoughts about you. It's just those are our personal opinions.
That's right. And we believe in listening to and hearing other people's perspectives, as I talked about on a recent episode. So
yes. So if you'd like to carry on this crunchy conversation with me, we can have a lively debate and still be friends at the end.
That's right. If we practice it on things like scrunchies, then maybe we'll get better at it when we talk about deeper issues and more difficult issues.
Like mom jeans. I don't know if I could have a civil conversation about mom jeans.
Oh, goodness.
But,
you got to draw the line somewhere.
I got to figure out which hill to die on, which thing's really important to my core values. Mom jeans is one of them.
Oh boy. All right. We're going to wrap it up. So
good.
Thank you for being here today. And we will be back next week, probably with a much more coherent conversation with one of our guests.
Definitely.
So. Thanks for joining us on the Christian Woman Leadership Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, would you consider leaving us a rating and review in your podcast app? This helps more women just like you find the podcast. And it also helps them to know whether the podcast would be a good fit for them. Just go to the show in your podcast app, then scroll down until you see the option for ratings and reviews. From there, you can tap to rate and write a review. It means the world to us when you take a couple minutes to do this, and thank you so much to everyone who has left a review. Now, don't forget, your leadership matters, and it's time for you to embrace your gifts and lead with confidence.